cheating is baked into football. Part of me roots for these players even harder.
Paris Tonight is brought to you by Smartwater.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Paris Tonight. I'm Ariel Helwani inside a very quiet Canada Olympic House. This place was jam-packed all day long, in large part because it was a very busy day for Team Canada and because it continues to rain here in Paris, but everyone's gone home to bed. All the action is done and we have a lot to talk about on this particular episode. First of all, more breaking news, more depressing news as it pertains to the Canadian women's national team. More on that in a moment. And in addition to that, Canada's men's basketball team was in action against Greece, their very first game. You get to watch the game with me. Stay tuned for that. Very, very fun stuff. Plus, we'll have a conversation with Matt Berger, who's on the skateboarding squad. We'll also recap a very memorable opening ceremony, and we'll recap a very busy night at the pool with our very own Devin Heroux. Now, back to the Canadian women's national team. This story continues to develop. It continues to get worse for the women on the pitch because earlier today, FIFA announced that they were deducting 6 points from Team Canada for this whole Dronegate spying story. So that means they're essentially now at -3 after their win over New Zealand. This is a huge, huge blow. They're behind the 8 ball and there are more ramifications. Bev Priestman has been suspended for a year. Moments after this news broke, I had to call upon one person and one person only. That's Roger Bennett of Men in Blazers fame. You know him. He's a brilliant guy. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge. Had to get his thoughts on all of this. Take a look. All right, now here to talk to us about this massive story is the czar of the Men in Blazers empire, the smartest man I know when it comes to all things football, and a man kind enough to be joining us in the midst of a road trip right now, the one and only, the inimitable Roger Bennett. Roger, let's get right into it. 6-point deduction. 1-year suspension for Bev Priestman and 2 staff members. Did FIFA get it right?
FIFA getting it right is a very hard sentence for me to take seriously, but it's a tough day for the Canadian football program. It's a hard day for the players who work so unbelievably hard, and to lose 6 points in their Olympic journey, my heart goes out to players like Janine Becky, who've given their all to be there with you in Paris. But this is a dark moment. Right after the opening games on our Women's Game Network with Sam Lewis and Midge Purse, and Midge just laughed. She's part of the American program. You beat the United States in the semi-final on that road to gold. Just laughed and said, "Cheat better." Like, what were they doing just with the cheap drone? There's a lot of grey area in football. Canada ultimately getting caught is a darkness, and this 6 points. It's just the beginning, I think. There's so much we don't know right now, Ariel. How long this has gone on for, who was complicit, how tall, how deep into the organization it went, who knew, what did the players know. So there's so much more still to come out, but it's a dark day for the program.
And so, speaking of which, Roger, does this call into question the gold medal in 2021, what Canada did on the men's side at the World Cup, the Copa America run as well? Like, this is maybe the greatest run for Canadian soccer, both on the men's and women's side. Do you feel like this calls into question everything that has happened over the past few years?
I would take a deep breath. As I said, there's so much we don't know. There's so much we will find out. I won't have a terrible word said about Jesse Marsh. That man is a remarkable human being. Canada had to annex the whole of Wisconsin just to have him come up. So I'd say, let's take a deep breath. On the men's side, does the New England Patriots slight grey area, does that tarnish their victories? The University of Michigan, does that tarnish theirs? I think there's the emotional and the rational. On the rational, we do need to know, how long did this go on? Who was involved? What did the players see? Were they presented with images from these drone shots in pre-match briefings? But then there's the emotional. Watching Canada win gold, watching Stephanie LeBay, I feel for her. That penalty shootout gold, just an iconic peak to a career of real sacrifice. You put out on Twitter today, I worked so hard to work out where to dive in that penalty shootout gold-winning performance. It's the players I feel for right now, Ariel, that they have to live their lives, which were glory soaked under the tinge of suspicion. That's the thing I feel darkest about on this day.
Last thing for you, Raj. Yesterday I had the chance to speak to Chelsea legend and Ivory Coast international superstar Didier Drogba, and he laughed this off. He said, this happens all the time. It's no big deal. And I see some people saying that, like everyone needs to chill out. Do you tend to agree with Didier on this front?
When England cheated to beat Argentina in the World Cup in 1998, to beat them by throwing themselves on the floor to gain a penalty, instead of howling with anger as the English would have done if the roles were reversed, the headlines in the Argentinian media were just, they've learned, i.e. we cheat, we celebrate cheating, the art of cheating is baked into football. Part of me roots for these players even harder, and I hope they do what they need to do to go deep again, Ariel. By the way, it gives me great joy to see you living out your dream on Canadian television covering this Olympics. It's a joy to this tournament, and I hope this doesn't tarnish your viewers' pleasure of all that is to come in Paris.
Roger, I love you. Thank you so much, and I especially love the hat you're wearing. Long live Nos Amours, the Montreal Expos. Appreciate you very much, Raj.
Courage.
All right, let's switch gears for a moment. And 24 hours later, it seems like everyone is still talking about those opening ceremony vibes on Friday night here in Paris. People on the internet either loved it or hated it. Nothing really in between. And so we wanted to know what world-renowned entertainment reporter Shannon Burns thinks about it all. She knows about this stuff way more than I do. Shannon, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Excited to chat.
Okay, so which camp are you in? Team you love the opening ceremony or team you hated it?
I am definitely team I loved the opening ceremonies. I think there was so much that was happening in those few hours that really just kept myself at least entertained. So I was pretty surprised to hear that people were feeling not so great about it or just thought it was, a little bit boring. I thought that it was a lot of fun. I think it was very creative. I thought it showcased a lot of what France has to offer, as well as celebrating all the countries. And I mean, Celine Dion was there and Lady Gaga was there and they both performed. How can you have any complaints about that?
Something that I've noticed online is that people are calling Celine Dion mother these days. Can you explain this to me as an older person? Why are they calling Celine Dion mother?
Because she's mothering. That's all I can say about that. It's because she's just such an icon. I mean, I think that's what really got people so excited about this performance. This is the first time that we've seen her perform in years since she announced that she had been diagnosed with stiff person syndrome back in 2022. So if anyone who's seen her documentary as well has just really seen the hardships that she's gone through the last couple of years and what an impact that's had on her life and her career and who she is as a person. So just to see her up there on the Eiffel Tower is so iconic, and she really did such an incredible job. I feel like there was not a dry eye in the house out there, even though it was pouring rain. She just did such an incredible job. So mother is mothering. Celine Dion, she really nailed it.
This is a sore subject for me. I don't know if you know this, but there was a red carpet before the opening ceremony, and CBC told me to stand there and get interviews with all the luminaries that were there. Unfortunately, most of them snubbed me. And so that's your world. Tell me, what did I do wrong? And what can I do better next time? How do I get these people to actually speak to me?
I saw that video. I watched it a few times actually because I was studying, and I don't think that it's on you. I thought that you did a fantastic job. I love that you were shouting out Canada just to get their ears to perk up, to get them to come over. And I think the fact that even Nina Dobrev, who is Canadian, didn't even give you the time of day. So justice for you. The celebrities should have been coming over. Kelly Clarkson, the nicest woman in Hollywood, didn't even, she gave you a little bit, right? But I think that's on them. So I think you're doing exactly a great job. And I loved the effort that you put into getting those names, even after so many no's.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Coming from you, that means a lot. You continue to do a great job. Thank you so much for the time. We look forward to your coverage throughout these Olympic Games.
Thanks so much.
Outshine Gold, presented by Lululemon.
All right, welcome back, and welcome to another Outshine Gold segment presented by our good friends over at Lululemon. As we just discussed, the opening ceremony was a vibe, as the kids like to say. A lot of Canadians were there. Unfortunately, our guest at this time was not there. He was supposed to compete on Saturday, so he stayed in, and unfortunately, the rain had other plans, postponing his event to Monday. But that means we get to chill and talk to him. He's Matt Berger. He's a tremendous skateboarder. He's competing in the street skateboarding event, and this is his second Olympic Games. Good to see you, Matt. Thank you for the time.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Can you compare, I know we're just getting started here, but just the vibe, you know, Tokyo from afar, it seemed rough, right? In the midst of COVID.
Yeah.
I know you're here with your family and friends. There's so many people just walking around, no masks, all that stuff. Just the difference so far between Paris and Tokyo.
I mean, it feels like a real Olympics in that's no shame to how amazing, of course, the Tokyo Olympics was, but we had no fans. There was energy, but to me, this is my first real Olympic experience, and I'm loving it all. It's been great.
Obviously, second Olympic Games, as we said, but this is all very new. Is it still kind of surreal that you could do what you love, you could be a skateboarder, but also be an Olympian, that this is actually in the Olympic Games?
When I was growing up in Kamloops, like, I've literally been laughed at by teachers and whatnot. And rightfully so. They thought they had the best interest in my path, and I never in a million years would have thought skateboarding would have got to this level. I need skateboarding in my life. This is what I love to do, no matter if I'm doing it on the Olympic stage or if I'm, you know, back in my hometown skating with my friends.
You're 30 now.
Yeah.
That means you're 16 years older than the youngest Olympian, who's also a skateboarder,
Yeah.
Fede Fazio Ebert. What is she like? 14 years old, man? I was a total loser at 14. I wasn't competing at the Olympic Games. She is the coolest. What is she like?
She's awesome. She's like our little sister because she just loves to skate and wants to skate and is focused on that. I think it's protecting her from a lot of the noise that comes with it, and it's just, she's looking at it excited as an opportunity to go and have fun and skate her skate in front of the whole world.
Well, I love skateboarding. I love watching it. I have great appreciation for it. In fact, if I'm being honest, I love wearing skateboarding shoes.
Really?
Love them. I've never actually been on a skateboard, believe it or not. Do you look down on people like me? Am I a poser because I'm wearing the shoes but don't actually skate?
No, absolutely not. The people who like the skate culture and want to buy into and be a part of it, it helps our whole culture and our world and the businesses that support people like myself and every skater that's here. So I welcome it all.
Well, I wish you the best. I may want to take you up on that offer.
Let's do it.
Do you have like a helmet and like
Nope.
okay, nothing. Perfect. That's great. We'll just.
You got it.
Good luck to you, man. Looking
you.
forward to it.
Appreciate
Monday, you're going to smash it. And I think Team Canada basketball is going to smash as well. Canada-Greece. Stay tuned. More on that in a moment. So I'm feeling good heading into the second half. By the way, shout out to Smartwater for keeping me hydrated. All right, 3/4 down. Greece hanging tough. Giannis is, he's pretty good. We should be good. Famous last words. Let's cross our fingers. 4th quarter coming up. Ooh, Lou Dort, let's go. Massive 3, Montreal boy. Let him cook. Let him cook with the step back. Let him cook with the step back. Bang! He's him. By the way, I went to watch outside. They were completely choking and blowing it. I come back to the no commentary seat, up by 10. SGA cooking now. They can't stop him. Whoop. All right. They stopped him briefly there. Man, Lou Dort has been gigantic. Obviously, no coincidence he is from my hometown. Canada up by 4 with 1:15. These guys aren't going away. They're not going away like a bad tzatziki in the middle of the night. You eat some bad gyro and the tzatziki is just like bubbling up inside of you. That's what they're like. And by the way, what's up with all the Greece flags? I see like 2 Canadian flags. Where's all the Canadians at? They were probably at the swimming, weren't they? 1:15, down by 4. Let us pray to the basketball gods. Let us pray to Dr. Naismith. Canada's sloppy with the ball again, and they steal the ball. I'm sorry. Oh my dear, this is a nightmare. Canada just up by 2 with 57 seconds to go. This is a nightmare in the making. Come on, son. Come on, son. Yes. Anytime you need him, he steps up. But forget about later in the tournament. We got to beat these guys. Greece, come on. There's a rumor that I may go to the game on Tuesday to bring them good luck. Clearly they need a little bit more luck, you know, a little oomph. And so it looks like 2 shots for Giannis. Oh, Giannis misses his first. Yeah, the pressure getting to him. Made it. Jamal Murray shooting 2. Madeable. 5-point game. Massive. Cojones. Yeah. RJ with the slam to put it home. Massive stop, and then it's RJ Barrett, the son of the man who put this team together, Rowan Barrett. Fitting that it's that man who slammed it home. Canada 1-0, 86-79. Sarah, where'd you go? Sarah, you there? All right, so it was a very busy night here at the Canada Olympic House because at the exact same time as the men's basketball game was going on, there was a lot of action at the pool, at La Défense Arena to be exact. And our guy, Devin Heroux, the titan of Twitter, the most prolific tweeter that I've ever met, was poolside, had his eyes on everything. And so, Devin, let's get right into it. It's silver for Summer McIntosh. Is this a good result for her?
Ariel, that's a great question because going into the night, I was speaking to our great broadcast duo of Byron McDonald and Rob Snook about that exact thing. Was a silver going to be considered a success for Summer McIntosh? And it was a resounding yes. Listen, almost exactly a year ago to the day in Fukuoka, Japan, I was there with Summer in the women's 400-meter freestyle, same lineup. Summer McIntosh placed fourth. It was probably one of the worst races of her career. She doesn't have many, and she was still fourth place. She's had a full year, Ariel, to think about tonight, the race of the century on the biggest stage, and she posted the second fastest time in the 400-meter freestyle in her career, 3:58.37. Right behind Australian powerhouse Ariane Titmus. It's a beautiful result for Summer McIntosh, 17 years old, her first medal, Canada's first medal. I just received a text from her mom, 1984 Olympian for Canada, Jill McIntosh, who writes me, "We are so proud of our daughter."
And this is exactly why we love Devin. Who else is getting texts from Summer McIntosh's mom in the midst of interviews? It's unbelievable. The guy is one of a kind. Now, let me ask you about Penny Alexiak. Speaking of fourth, relay team finishes fourth. What does this mean for her future?
Yeah, who knows, right? There was this feeling, Ariel, going into tonight. Is this Penny Alexiak's last race? Canada's most decorated Olympian goes into this relay. Of course, she hasn't qualified in any individual events. It was quite the scene here when the women came up to speak to me after that relay. They so badly wanted to get on the podium. And I asked her, Penny, through all of this, what's it like to be standing beside these women? And she looked over at Summer McIntosh and she said, "I'm just so proud of my teammates. Summer won a medal." They were lights out at times. That's what's happening here at the pool. The reality of it is that Penny Alexiak is so happy to see swimmers she inspired get into the podium. There was a photo of the two of them at Olympic trials ahead of 2016. Summer was like 9 years old at the time. Penny was 16. There they were standing arm in arm on the pool deck here tonight. Spellbinding stuff, Ariel.
Well, she's an incredible teammate. You're an incredible reporter, Devin. It's a joy to work alongside you. You do such a tremendous job. Your enthusiasm is second to none. It's really, it's like contagious. And I was actually, to be honest, starstruck when I had a chance to meet you for the first time yesterday, and looking forward to many more of these hits. We need to let you go because the lights keep going on and off over there, and I don't want you to get left in the dark. So thank you so much for the great insight, and we'll be talking to you very soon.
Can't wait. Thank you, Ariel.
All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, my Paris Tonight podium. Remember this? Bronze, silver, gold, my three favorite moments of the day. Let's start with bronze. Had a great chat with Matt Berger, the skateboarder, and when I was doing my research, I stumbled upon this amazing clip just a couple of days ago. The skateboarding team was stuck on a bus that wasn't moving. So you know what they did? They broke out the skateboarders like the cool cats that they are. They got on the streets of Paris and they just rode away. How cool is that? How many athletes here could do that and actually use the items that they're competing in to help them get from point A to point B? I thought that was super fun. All right, now my silver medal goes to the French men's rugby sevens team. Oh my gosh, what a scene. Au Stade de France as they win gold for the very first time, beating the two-time defending champs, Fiji. Fiji won in 2016. They won in 2020, and a lot of people thought they were gonna go back to back to back, three-peat. Nah, France beats them in front of their own. What a scene it was, the emotion, the jubilation, the celebration. It was incredible to witness this here in France. Everyone was so pumped. It's a very popular sport here in this country. That was incredible stuff. My gold has to go to my men's basketball team. Why mine? I don't know. I love basketball, and I was so happy to see them. 24 years in the making, seeing Canada back on the big stage. And yes, it was dicey. It was squeaky bum time in the fourth quarter. No doubt about it. Greece, and they played great. They fought tough, but there are levels. There are levels, and in the end, Canada got it done. They win by 7. We move on to Tuesday against Australia. And a bit of a spoiler. I'll be in attendance to be a bit of a good luck charm for SG and the boys. I cannot wait for that. I also can't wait for tomorrow. My one thing to watch on Sunday, it has to be the Canadian women's national team. They're going up against France. 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 2, New Zealand out of the way, but golly, there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of drama. Dronegate, suspensions, point deductions. They have to win this. If they don't win against France, they're pretty much done. All eyes on Canada, France, 2:50 p.m. Eastern, only on CBC Gem. I'll be locked in. I hope you will be as well. All right, that does it for episode 2. We'll see you right back here on Sunday night. Thanks for watching.
Paris Tonight is brought to you by Smartwater.